Hello, everyone. As you can see, we've got the gorgeous Dinah in the chat this morning, and the sun shining in Norwich, which is a lovely thing.
And I thought I'd just come and say hi, everyone.
Yeah.
But I am going off stage now, so have a lovely session with Kat, and I'll see you later, Kat.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dinah. Yeah, and hopefully my witterings on Dinah can answer in the chat. Yeah. Oh, wonderful.
Okay, see you later.
Bye. Everyone's saying hello in the chat. We've got Gloucestershire, Somerset, Norfolk, Istanbul. Amazing. I love that we're such a spread out and international group. So if you've been coming to the class each week recently, we've moved from our CV channel into our heart channel. I think it was 3 weeks ago, Cliff looked at CV17, which is kind of on the chest and the sternum, connecting to the heart center. And last week, Basti moved down into heart 1 and 3. And point of the week, we're going a little bit further down onto the heart channel, around the wrist area. And I'll let you into what that is a little bit later. So, yes, hello. It's lovely to see you all on the chat. I'll give you a little heart. So before we come up to standing and have a little shake out, I thought if we come to find a comfortable sitting place, and that can either be on the floor or on the chair. I'm just going to sit on a bolster so I'm a little higher up and my hips can relax. Okay. So we're just going to find a nice comfy place. You might want to roll your shoulders or rearrange the hips, making sure our faces are relaxed as well. And we're just going to checking in with ourselves. We might have had a busy morning already, or we might still be sipping on our coffee. So just popping those things just down to one side. Yeah, we'll come back to them in a bit. You can sip your coffee in a moment. So you can either have the hands resting on the legs, or you might want to place one hand on the belly and one hand on the chest. And we're just going to see how the breath is in the body. Checking to see what's going on and how we're doing this morning. And it's okay if the breath isn't going as deep as you'd like it. We're just noticing what it feels like and how we are this morning. Because a lot of the time, the days can whirl by and we've got long lists of things to do. We don't always check in with ourselves of really what's going on when we're very busy in our daily lives and perhaps in our minds as well. So this is that golden moment for us to really just slow down and go, oh, yeah, how am I doing this morning? You might want to start to breathe in through the nose and gently breathing out through the mouth. Breathing in through the nose, not forcing anything with the breath, breathing out through the mouth. Lovely. And then we're just going to come to an easier, natural breath. If you've got your hands placed on your chest and belly, just going to gently bring them away so the hands can rest on the legs if they're not there already. You can keep the eyes closed for a moment longer if that feels okay. Just having a sense of how we're doing. All right. So I'm just going to open my eyes. I'm just going to pull one pole up for us this morning. So we can move away from the screen in a moment quite quickly. So I'm just going to put, how are you coping this morning? Hopefully that appears. So I'm coping well, I'm okay, I'm neutral, I'm stressed, or I'm very stressed. Things are definitely different from the last couple of weeks. It's kind of looking fairly even. More of you are okay, which is wonderful, but there are still a few of you in the stressed or very stressed area. So don't you worry. We'll hopefully feel a lot easier and calmer within ourselves by 11 o'clock. All right, I'm just going to move back to the chat. Okay, so from here, I thought if we come up to standing very gently, you can do these things sitting as well, so take your time. So I'm going to come up to standing. I'll move that right out of the way so I've got a little bit more room. All right, so we're going to tune into our heart and heart center, finding our point of the week a little bit later on the wrists. But first I thought we could come into some grounding so we can really let things settle. Because a lot of the time when we're stressed and running around, like not really breathing very well or lower into the body, our stress can kind of come upwards, rising upwards, a little bit like fire where the heat's at the top. So we want to be able to bring our energy and to be grounded basically, so we're able to be easier in our body and mind. So I'll quit whittering on and actually get into some grounding. So really simple, allowing the feet, I'll turn sideways so you can see, allowing the feet to rest, the toes, soles of the feet, and the heel to really drop into the ground. Sometimes when we're walking and we're stressed, we can lean forward and pull from the heart or the head, but we really want all the foot to be in contact with the ground. So padding the feet out, allowing the rest of the body to do whatever feels good. You might want to shake out a little bit, or perhaps being a lot quieter with the body, or really moving the chest as we're walking, padding the feet in the ground. So doing what feels good for you. And we're still breathing. I hope so, because that's fundamental for us to enjoy the rest of our day. All right. So from here, we're going to allow the weight to settle. Doesn't matter if it's a smaller parallel or a little bit wider, but as long as we've got this lovely space between the knees so our legs can be nice and strong. A nice base. All right, and then gently rolling the shoulders round, easing off the front of the shoulders, seeing if we can relax the hands as well. Wonderful, and the shoulder blades are melting down the ribs at the back. So we're gently easing open the sternum at the front, where that lovely CV point, our conception vessel, 17 is for the heart center. Lovely. That's great. So undoing the arms. So I thought we could shift the weight from one leg to the other very gently. So it's like this, maybe water comes up the leg, through the pelvis and down the other leg. Or perhaps it's like sand. But getting in contact with this weight that can just pour from one side to the other. Easy ankles, knees and hips. And the breath is easy as well. Great. And then we're just going to take the weight into one foot. So we've got a nice long leg. And this other foot, we're just going to roll the foot, the ball of the foot round the floor, seeing what the sole of the foot feels like. You can do this with a tennis ball underneath the foot or a spiky ball. Or as I think someone told me once, they used an apple because they couldn't find any balls. So see what you can find. Or just rolling the foot round on the floor. You can do this sitting as well. And it might be a bit of a squircle. I've got some sort of a strange clunk going on in my right foot that wasn't there yesterday. So change direction. So we're just noticing, seeing what the foot feels like. Obviously it's helping to undo the knee and the hip as well. Lovely. All right, so from here, and you can hold onto the wall or a chair. The same foot we just rolled round. We're just going to gently tuck the toes under. We might have the leg far away or a little bit closer. So we're just resting the toes on the floor. We're not forcing anything. We're helping to open up the front of the ankle really gently. And then we're going to step that back into a lunge, opening the back of the leg all the way up to the pelvis. That's great. And then again, gently tucking the toes under. Easy breath. And then lengthening the heel away, lengthening the back of the leg all the way up to the pelvis. So we're opening up this lovely band of muscles and fascia down the back of the body. Great. And then we're going to shake that leg out. And we'll do the same with the other foot. So shifting the weight into that yummy leg we've just worked and rolling the other foot round. Oh, my left one's even worse. So you might have two wonderful feet this morning. I really don't know what's going on. I clearly need some attention on my feet. So rolling the foot round, being gentle if there's any sore or tender areas. Seeing how the ankle and the knee is. You can rest whenever you need to and come back to it. Just noticing the difference from one foot to the other. Great, and then we'll roll it back the other way, changing direction. Easy through the rest of the body. Wonderful. And then the same thing again. We're just going to gently tuck the toes under. The leg can be far away. Sometimes you might bring it quite far forward if there's a lot of opening in the front of the ankle. If there isn't, just rest the tip of the toes on the floor to help open the front of the ankle. And then the same thing again, opening the toes under so the heel draws back down towards the ground. Open up the back of the leg from the heel all the way to the sacrum, that wonderful sacred bone that we have in the pelvis. And then again, tucking the toes under, easing into that standing leg. And then opening the foot out, allowing the heel to drop down into the ground. Great. And then we'll shake that leg out. Oh, in fact, we can shake both legs. Oh, it's getting quite warm in here, which is lovely. So shaking the legs out. All right. And then we're just going to come to a parallel, but much closer. You can allow the feet to touch if that feels okay. If there's any lower back issues, stay standing and hold the pelvis, and you can just soften the knees here, okay? If you're all right with the lower back this morning, how is it to soften the knees and gently take a hold of the kneecaps at the front? And we've still got nice space in the shoulders. We're just going to roll the knees round. So you're wondering, why is Kat doing circles this morning? So circles and spirals. This is exactly how our body moves and functions. Even our elbow hinge joint, all the bones and muscles are spiraling open just to make that simple movement of opening the elbow. And it's the same with our heart. The blood's pumped round this amazing double helix of our heart muscle. So spiraling and circling is what the body loves the most. It's the most beneficial for joints and circulation. All right, so change direction on those knees. And it can be a small movement. We don't have to be too huge. Or perhaps you really want to get in on the knees there. If there's any lower back issues, keep the spine upright and just gently roll the knees round, holding on to the pelvis. Lovely. And I'm just going to allow the circles to soften off, allowing the knees to kind of fold forward a little bit and gently uncurling so the head's the last thing to come back up. We'll open the legs a little bit wider having the toes slightly turned out. We're going to play with either having the legs nice and long or having an ease in the knees. And all we're doing is circling the pelvis. So you might notice with the legs long, I find it goes much deeper into the hip sockets and round that sacral iliac joint at the back. So you might prefer, if that's a little tender, to soften the knees with circling the pelvis, and it's going to go more into the fleshy muscle type feeling, undoing the fleshy bits. So move the legs to however feels comfortable, and you might kind of go from one to the other, softening the knees or lengthening the legs. It doesn't have to be huge circles. You might just go really, really gently. Great. Then we're going to change direction on the circle. It's good to go both ways, allowing both sides of the brain to be active. And it might be kind of like our feet, that different directions on the pelvis need different things. I think as I move to the left, yes, I prefer my legs long. You might prefer the other way, so doing whatever feels comfortable. So we're gently opening up the body. Lovely. And then allowing the circles to spiral and get smaller and smaller until we're easing the pelvis to just kind of hang in the center. That's great. We can release the arms if we've had them on the hips, and then we're going to walk the feet into an easier parallel. We can shake the legs out again. So we've worked the feet, ankles, knees, thighs into the hips and waist. So we're going to come to the torso. So this bit is just for fun. Don't worry if you're like, oh my God, what are we doing? This is too much. It's okay. We can also do this next bit sitting too. So how is it? I know it's a strange thing. We're going to see how we can get those ribs moving, that wonderful heart center moving this morning. So sometimes when we're stressed, I don't know about you, but I get this like, oh yes, I've got my great shirt on. Don't hate, meditate. Sometimes when we get stressed, I sometimes get this kind of tight feeling across the band mid-back. So this is linked in with our heart center. It's also where the diaphragm sits. So we're going to move this area to allow a bit more movement and ease, which will help us breathe and help, hopefully, the stress to alleviate and just disappear. So simple movement. If you place one hand on the front of the chest, we've got easy legs and our feet are spread in the ground. How is it just to press the front of the ribs, the sternum, into the hand and then back again? I know it's quite strange. So we're not moving from the shoulders. It really is the sternum, and then it's dropping back so we can curl a little bit into the back of the ribs. So we're moving with the rib cage and the heart. Yeah. You can go much slower and it might be a smaller movement. Yeah. So just checking in what kind of range or what feeling is there in the chest area. And being kind to ourselves as well. Doesn't matter if it feels blocked or I can't do that. That's okay. We don't need to beat ourselves up about it as well, all right? So being gentle and kind. Okay, so we're seeing how the front and back feels. Now we're going to move, so you might want to use the hands either side, or you might want to place your hands on your hips and see how it is, kind of like the top of a typewriter. Yes, I do know what a typewriter is. I'm not that young, but anyway. So the top of the typewriter, how it moves from side to side. So how this rib cage can gently shift from one side to the other. And again, it might be really small. It might be a strange feeling and one side might gently collapse a little bit. That's okay. Even if the movement's this way, we're helping the rib cage to open to the side because it's a huge, voluminous place in our body. And the more we can open it up, the easier it is for us to breathe. So gently moving the ribs from side to side. Wonderful. All right. So if that's starting to feel a bit okay, don't worry if it's uncomfortable. We can do less, or you're really not enjoying this movement at all. Come to resting. If you just want to have a little bit of fun with me, you can use hands on the chest and ribs if it helps. We're going to see if we can make circles with the rib cage. So you might want to place hand on the front, press into the front, move to the side, the back, over to the other side and forward again. So rolling the rib cage round, getting free movement, and it might not be a circle, much like my clunky feet this morning, allowing the rib cage to roll round. And just trying it for fun, even if we're not quite there, it's completely fine. All right, and then just for sheer devilment, how is it to go back the other way? See if we can get those brains engaged this morning. Lovely. Wonderful. All right. So gently letting that go, just a little bit of fun. Don't worry, we're not auditioning for Strictly. We're going to allow more space around the rib cage and the mid back as well. So we're going to move into the spine closing and opening. It's a little bit like a cat-cow, but we're going to come to uncurling as well. So I'll just show it the movement once. You can do this sitting on a chair as well. Doing good. So easy parallel. I'll turn a little bit sideways so you can see. It's going to start with the chin drawing towards the chest. So it's really just chin to chest, and then we're going to soften forward, folding at the knees, softening at the front of the hips, relaxing the head and neck. You might just curl over a little way, or you might want to curl all the way and fold all the way over, keeping the knees soft, okay? So even if we've got long legs and room in the back of the legs, how is it just to soften the back of the knees today? And then we're going to allow the knees to draw under, and the shoulders are going to gather up around the ears. So we're closing off the space around the neck here. So it's the shoulders that draw us off. And then when we get up to standing, how is it that the shoulder blades just melt down and undo the arms? Okay, so it's the shoulders that bring us up, and then the shoulders can undo. So you can work it with our breath. So I'll do it a few times with you. And take your time, there's no rush with it. So we're just going to breathe in, seeing where the breath sits in the body. And as we breathe out, we're just gently going to drop the chin to the chest, gently folding the front of the body and going to wherever feels comfortable. So yeah, I could fold over, but this place here feels really nice. I'm going to breathe in as I'm hanging over, allowing head and neck to relax and the arms. Breathing in. Lovely. And then breathing out, we're just going to soften into the knees. And then we're going to breathe in again. It's the shoulders that draw us up. We're uncurling still with the spine. And as we breathe out, the shoulder blades can melt down the ribs at the back. And then we'll take a breath in again. As we breathe out, it's the same thing, chin to chest, curling forward to wherever's comfortable. Well, there might be a bit, where it feels a bit sticky. So I feel like I've got a little bit here that I want to stay and work with. Taking a breath in and breathing out. Next time we breathe in, we're going to draw the shoulders up towards the ears. Soften the knees so the pelvis curls under, drawing all the way up to standing. Breathing in, and as we breathe out, allow the shoulder blades to melt down the ribs at the back. So if there's any dizziness coming in, stay standing. If you want to, we're just going to do one more of these to help the mid-spine and the front of the body to soften. So breathing into the belly, Breathing out, chin to chest, gently softening the front of the body, nice and easy, keeping the head relaxed. Oh, that's much smoother. So you might find that you can start to go a little bit further forward. Taking a breath here. And then as you breathe in next time, allow the shoulders to draw up to the ears, softening the knees and allow the pelvis to come underneath again. Breathing out, melting the shoulder blades, scapula down, the ribs at the back. Lovely. All right. As you can see, we've started at the feet and we're moving in spirals all the way up to our head. So we're just going to take the head to look from one side to the other. Really gentle. So I'm not forcing my head round where I can feel a bit of tension kicking in on the front and side of my neck. Kind of sticking to about 40-45 degrees of range with my head. But gently lubricating and sending this lovely synovial fluid round the back of the neck and head. So we want to help undo this area. Wonderful. Then gently bringing the face to the center again. And then how is it just to tuck the chin to the chest so the face can relax, the eyes can soften. And then from here, we're going to imagine that our ears are kind of wheels that can pivot the head on this vertebrae to slowly look up towards the sky. And we want, or the ceiling, or maybe you can imagine a wonderful sky above you. We want to make sure that we don't drop in the neck and the throat, imagining we're placing our head on a pillow, okay? So there's length in the front and the back of the neck, even if it's just to look at the other side of the room slightly higher. And then the same thing again. So we're wheeling around the ears, which is the level of our vertebrae inside the skull. That's where it comes to, around the ears. And then wheeling round the ears and that first vertebra at the skull to gently look up towards the sky. Lovely. And then once more, gently chin to chest. And wheeling to look up towards that beautiful sunshine. Hopefully it's shining for you wherever you are. Great. Then this next time, chin to chest, we're just going to bring the head to look up to the center. And we've wonderfully made it to an easy standing. Sometimes standing sounds like a simple thing to do, but to find an easy kind of habit and allowing our body to just be, sometimes it can be quite difficult. But I can feel through the camera and the screen that I think we've all got it. And that feels really great. Wonderful. All right. So before we come to we'll do our kidney 1 point and then our point of the week. I thought we could do this gentle Qi Gong movement to help open up the heart center a little bit more and unbind the chest to also calm our mind or spirits down. It's a pretty simple movement. You can do it sitting. I will show it sitting as well. So we can be in parallel. You might want to shake the feet out and checking in again where the breath is. So what we're going to do is draw the hands in front. So we're gently closing a little bit the front of the chest. This is where we can soften the knees and gently curl forward. And the back of the hands are going to meet. And you might find the little fingers can touch. So our heart channel goes to our little fingers. So we soften in the knees here and the head can relax. And then we're going to draw the hands up to the heart center. Still back of the hands together. I'll step back a little bit. We're going to lengthen the legs as the hands come to the heart center. And then they're slowly going to uncurl, making a lovely heart shape. And then the palms open out. And then pressing away, as though we're kind of holding something up. And this is where the arm muscles and channels can be quite active. And then this is where we'll come into our breath a bit. We'll undo the arms, relaxing the arms, allowing them to pour down, softening in the knees. And we're curling forward a little bit again and allowing the back of the hands to come together. You can stay much more upright if that feels okay for you, especially if you've got lower back issues. And then drawing the hands up again, the legs lengthen, the arms open into a lovely heart shape, the hands, palms facing away, pressing something away. Quite a strong one for the arms and the channel. Breathing out, relaxing the arms and then undoing them, breathing out. And then as the palms come together, we're going to breathe in. Breathing in. And then we're going to start to breathe out here. Nice long legs, pressing the palms away. Breathing in. Allowing the chest to be nice and open. Then breathing out, relaxing the palms, relaxing the arms down. Lovely. Now we're going to breathe in as the back of the hands meet. Breathing out. We made that lovely heart shape with the hands. Legs are nice and long. Breathing in here. Breathing out, relaxing the palms, relaxing the arms, and then gently going round. I'll allow you a little bit of time by yourselves to do this. You can rest whenever feels good. I'm going to come and demonstrate it on the chair. So for those of you who want to stay standing with it, please keep going. Right. So we can do this sitting as well, and I'll just demonstrate. So having the legs a little bit wider and the feet connected to the ground, curling forward. So taking your time, you might have stopped already, which is fine. So we'll make this next round the last one. So breathing in and breathing out. You can yawn or sigh. Breathe in here, strong arms. Breathing out, relaxing. And then we're just going to fold forward. So even if we're standing, we're just going to fold forward, allowing the back of the palms together. We're going to come up right with the torso. And here at the heart center, we're just going to gently uncurl the hands to the fingertips and then placing the palms together in our prayer position. Lovely. Hopefully feeling a lot easier. Hopefully it wasn't too strong on the arms, but it's gently opening up the channel there. All right. So we can undo the hands at prayer position and bringing the feet back in if they're a little wider. Hopefully you are all okay with that. We are going to come to sitting. You might want to find a chair or a bolster on the floor. I'm going to come a little bit closer. And I thought we could get in touch with our lovely kidney 1 point. How are we doing? Got plenty of time. So taking a hold of a foot, you might want to do this sitting on the floor. Or if it's difficult to get to your own foot, maybe there's someone at home or you've got a tennis ball or spiky ball that you can place on the floor sitting and roll the foot around the ball to help undo the sole of the feet. Okay, so we know kidney 1 in between the big toe and second toe metatarsal, right underneath the ball of the foot. Oh, gorgeous point. So you might want to use the fingers into the sole of the foot or the thumb. So thumbing underneath here, I'll turn sideways. So gently pressing into this yummy point, our bubbling spring, so our energy can come up through the feet to help support us for the day. We can be super chilled and very efficient. So it's nourishing our yin. Definitely something that we need if we're stressed out. Yeah. All right, so whilst we're here with our foot, how is it we just give the whole foot a squeeze, saying hello, waking it up and warming it up, maybe into the heel, and taking a hold of each toe. We're just going to give each toe a little wiggle. So you might want to give a squeeze and a wiggle down each toe, opening up all the channels in our body. Lovely. Not forgetting the big toe. Okay. And then how is it if it feels all right to? If the feet are sore, if there's any like plantar fasciitis, just hold the foot. If your feet feel like they need it, take a loose wrist and we're just going to tap underneath the sole of the foot. Wonderful. All right. And then from here, we're going to allow that foot to find the floor. Ooh, yeah, you might want to check in how your feet feel. Hopefully one feels much better than the other, and it's going to keep getting better. So finding that other foot, and we're going to find our kidney 1 point, either using the fingertips in there or allowing the thumbs underneath, giving it a lovely, loving press to nourish our yin in the body. Great. Our bubbling spring. You know, and all this work that we do, every time you show up here on a Wednesday morning, that's something that you're doing for yourself. And it's a part of our self-love and self-care. So I think, you know, sometimes we forget that we need to do things for ourselves, and just thought I'd highlight right now, you're doing really great, and it's exactly coming to something like this, or, you know, looking after yourself. This is a moment that you're doing that. And sometimes we just need a little word of encouragement or love that's exactly what you're doing. That's exactly why we're all here, to look after ourselves. All right, and then taking a hold of the foot, giving it a nice squeeze, the heel, ankle, all the way to the little toe. Taking a hold of each toe, maybe giving a gentle press and a wiggle, all the way to the big toe. Wonderful. And then the same thing again, you might just want to hold the foot and send some breath to it, or using a loose wrist, allowing the fingers to be relaxed as well, tapping underneath the sole of the foot. That's great. Nice and easy in our bodies. Wonderful. And then releasing that foot, or if you're sitting cross-legged, allowing the feet to fold, the legs to fold. Great. Hopefully we're feeling a lot more grounded in our bodies and a lot more freer, and hopefully warmer, because we worked on these circles to help all the blood flow and synovial fluid flow much easier. How are we doing? So I've got a few things I wanted to fit in today for us. So I think actually, before we move to point of the week, I know we've just done our feet, but hey, they're your feet. I thought we could do a little bit of work around our face this morning. So I'm going to get a little bit closer so you can see the points that we're getting into. Okay. Oh, I can see in the chat you've had fun with Strictly and belly dancing. It's good to have a bit of fun. So we're going to rub the hands together, making some Qi and Qi. I'm just going to place the hands either side of the face, or temples of the eyes. Yeah, Just gently resting the hands here. You can close your eyes if that feels good. Just going to gently press down either side of the face. I have this lovely image that I like to work with. It might work for you, or you might find something else, but I imagine pressing in, it's kind of like pressing in warm compost and earth into a flower pot. So that's what I imagine when I'm pressing gently but firmly onto my head and face. It's this warm, nourishing compost. So it's that, I think it's the quality of touch that we have there, connecting in with a bit more of the earth, either side of the face. Lovely. We'll come a little bit to the eyes. So using the fingertips, just gently, gently, not very hard at all, resting a little bit of pressure over the eyeballs, and then out to the side and a little bit underneath as well. So if we do a lot of screen work, it's nice to release the muscles of the eyes. Sometimes if there's an emotional stress, this might come out through the eyes as well. So resting the eyes when we can. I'm just going to press down the front of the face, which is our stomach channel. Gently, gently pressing into the cheeks. And here we're going to find the fingertips on the front of the jaw, and the thumbs are going to come underneath the jaw bone. And we're going to start in the center. So we're gently pressing up, very gently. We're not being too hard here. Fingertips on the chin, and then gently, oh yes, fashioning clay. I like that. That's it, Kim. Maybe gently warming up the clay for us to be sculpted this morning. We're working our way all the way underneath the jaw to the edge, and then we'll come back in again. So if any of you have studied Shiatsu or acupuncture or Chinese medicine, so in our Masanaga theory, the extension is that the heart channel comes to underneath the chin. And I learned recently from doing some yoga workshops that pressing under the jaw and towards the chin actually helps with heart palpitations as well, or feeling that the heart's racing. So this movement and gentle self-pressure, self-shiatsu, is really good, connecting to the heart and all the way out. Wonderful. So from here, if we gently lift the face up, we're just going to gently stroke the front of the neck and throat, helping the lymphatic system to gently drain and still keep moving very gently down the front of the throat. Wonderful. Allowing the breath just to pour in, and then we're going to come to the front of the chest. Just going to press out one side underneath the collarbone. And we're going to go into the armpit. I like to use the palm of the hand right in there on the armpit. Don't be shy. Don't worry, we're not going back to the face anymore after the armpits. So allowing the arm just to fold on the top of the hand. I'm just going to take a breath in. And then breathing out, perhaps sending some Qi and energy through to the hand that's underneath, holding that lovely point, heart one, where our channel starts in the armpit. Breathing in and breathing out. Wonderful. All right, we're going to release the arm and hand under there. We're going to come to the other side, gently pressing the front of the chest. That's great. Seeing how each side feels, and then coming to underneath the armpit. You might see how that feels. And then same thing, allowing the hand to just rest, and we're just relaxing the arm on the top. We're just going to breathe in. And as we breathe out, we're just going to send some lovely breath and energy to the palm of the hand that's in contact with our armpit, our heart one. One more breath in and breathing out. And we'll come to a natural breath. We're going to release the hand under the armpit. Whilst you're sitting here, I'm going to see if I can find our point of the week slide. So bear with me a moment. Hopefully, yes, here it is. Heart 7. So I'll move the chair for us out the way. Heart 7. Down on that lovely wrist crease. It's the spirit gate or spirit's gate. I've got massive acupuncture book here, but there's this other book that we sometimes use, Images and Functions. I'm just going to read because it's quite a gorgeous point. I find it very beneficial for working the whole channel of the heart meridian. So it's the spirit's gate. It's our source, the stream and earth point of the heart channel. It's located on the transverse wrist crease on the radial side of the tendon of the flexor carpi, ulnar muscle. So we've got our ulnar and radius, dear me, names of the bones. So little finger edge, little finger side, in on the wrist crease, as you can see on this lovely picture here, and it's on the inside of the ulnar, on the wrist crease, and there's a slight kind of dip in there. So we can use that using the thumb. I'll hold my hand up, but you can rest it to work it. I'm just going to gently pressing to this point. So it calms the spirit, regulate and tonifies the heart. It's really good for insomnia, heart pain or palpitations. If there's any mad laughter, or perhaps if you're insulting people, that's usually a good indicator that we maybe need to check in and give our heart channel a little bit of attention. I'm just going to keep reading from this little bit whilst you work your heart 7 points. So like it says on the slide, so it regulates and tonifies the heart, especially the Qi, the blood, the yin and the yang. Wonderful point, it gets them all. It transforms heart phlegm, or it's kind of like a strong form of dampness that turns into phlegm in Chinese medicine. And then it also benefits the tongue. So also clears heat fire, heart fire, deficiency in heat and cools heat in the blood. So that's kind of things like hypertension, dream disturbed sleep, feverish sensation in the palms, the desire for lots of cold drinks, fever and chills, things like that. And it's also a wonderful point for calming the spirit, strengthens and clears the brain and dispels wind phlegm. Don't worry if you're wondering what the hell wind phlegm is. It's all right, we can let that one go. So if you've worked one side and not got to the other side yet, how is it to tune in there? Just taking a gentle moment, taking a breath in, and then breathing out. It's a really great point. It's very discreet. So, if you're out and about and feeling a little panicky or worried or stressed, this point's a really nice one to just hold. So even if you're standing, so I'll come up to that, you might want to place the fingers around the front of the wrist. You can take a hold of it with your thumb underneath. Nobody's really going to know that you're delving into some acupressure points. So, if you feel comfortable in the supermarket to kind of press around under the jaw, be my guest, that sounds wonderful. Or you can take a hold of the more discreet point of holding the wrist on this lovely heart 7 point. All right, so I'm just going to close this slide down so we can come to it an easy end. I think there's some, Carolyn, do you know, I'm not sure if it's helpful for itchy or red skin. I'd have to actually look that one up. I think it might be because it's a bit, I think it's linked to eczema, helping with eczema. I've just lost the point. Here we are. I don't know, maybe Dinah knows. Here we are. Yes, helps with heat, so worth a try. But large intestine is a cooling point and connected in with the skin. Thank you, Dinah. That's wonderful. Okay, so just to come back to easy sitting. I know we've been kind of sitting a little bit this morning after our circling and spiraling of the body. So we're just going to come back to sitting and roll the shoulders nice and gently, seeing how that feels after this 10 o'clock. How do we feel now as we're nearing 11? Allowing the shoulder blades to melt down the ribs at the back. Lovely. How's the chest and the front of the body? We're just going to tune in exactly as we did as we first started. Maybe one hand on the chest and one hand on the belly. And we're going to draw in 5 more controlled breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. I'll count us, so don't worry if you do an extra one with me, it doesn't matter. Just going to see where the breath is sitting now. And the same thing again, we don't have to force anything, and there's no worry if it's not going as low as we wish it to. But we're just going to tune in and see how we're doing now before we come to rest and close the session for today. So breathing in through the nose, breathing out through the mouth, breathing in through the nose, breathing out through the mouth, breathing in through the nose. Just seeing what's going on beneath the hands. All right, so we're just going to draw one more breath in through the nose. How is it to just gently pause with the body full of breath? And then breathing out gently. We're going to come to a natural breath, nice and easy. And then allowing the hands to move away from the chest and the belly. And I'm just going to pull up the pole actually before we come to resting on the ground, if that feels all right, so that we don't look at the screen then there afterwards. So I'm going to put up, how do you feel now? I'm going to share that with you. Are you feeling more balanced or about the same? Hopefully, I really hope you're less stressed than we started at 10. And the joy is from, I think it's 11 a.m. till 1 p.m. It is on the Chinese clock. It is the time of the heart. So enjoy that lovely, joyous, free spirit of having circulation moving around the body, thinking about lunch, and it's usually when the sun now in our late winters starting to get much warmer and higher in the sky. Oh, you're all more balanced. That is wonderful. It's absolutely great. So just to finish at the end, if you've got any pillows or blankets or a bolster, you can just lie on the floor as well. But this is a lovely open, gentle resting stretch. So if you make a long strip of blankets or cushions, and we're going to lie our spine down the row of cushions, making sure the head's supported. And all we're going to do is see how that is to allow the arms out to the side. You might feel that, up here's, that's a bit strong for me. So I'm going to see where it feels good to just allow the arms and elbows to relax on the ground, and the feet are planted firmly on the ground, and the knees are relaxed. And we're just going to rest here for a moment, nice and easy, allowing the heart center to settle, our mind to settle in the body. So you can stay resting here or just lying on the ground with the knees up. I'm just going to read a little thing for us to finish the session together. I know we're just about, yes, we've got 5 more minutes. So taking your time to lie down on the floor, either along the bolster or flat, whatever's easiest. And I'm going to read from my Environmental Arts Therapy in the Tree of Life book, of course, into our February month. So you can just let the words waft over you. Anytime you want to drift off, yeah, someone might, oh yes, Simonetti, it sounds like you're very sleepy now. So hopefully a lot calmer in the body. So February is connecting in with the womb, as we've all come from one. So as the days grow longer and the warmth returns, it's that which has been frozen begins to thaw, and feelings return to the earth. The month of February begins with the ancient festival of Imbolc, meaning in the belly. Imbolc marks the first stirring of life in the womb of the earth. Dedicated to the goddess Bride or Bridie, it is the first fire festival of the year. Bride, or Birdie as well, I should say, is the virgin goddess, and all brides represent her as they walk towards union with the solar masculine. Hers is the new, soft body of the earth as the water begins to flow again, and the soil becomes the womb, dark, moist, and enveloping. As she nurses the seed within it, it begins to reach out to her. So even if, we're not necessarily in our couples of female and male, we're all from a womb, and the earth can be our womb where things grow from and are nurtured. Just wanted to read one last little bit. I don't want to get too cheesy, but I know yesterday was a particular day of love. And whether we're with someone or not, I wanted to read this book because I kind of thought it was so wonderful, tuning into the heart center and what it is to love ourselves and look after ourselves. So we can gather in this special place in the heart center, tokens of love for yourself. Perhaps we can reflect and think of the symbols of what you admire in yourself. Promises of self-acceptance, trust and loyalty. Commit to treat yourself with the same love that you bestow on others. To give yourself time and opportunity to do the things that make your heart sing. To go out and treat yourself with gentleness and respect. So I just wanted to end on those lovely words for you. So if you're lying down, you're very welcome to stay lying down. You don't have to get up. I'm just gonna come and wiggle a little closer. So thank you all for coming, and it looks like the chat was very busy. Thank you very much, Dinah, for coming on and helping and answering the questions about the itchy skin and tuning into the heart 7. And of course, if you ever want to catch up on these, we've got our Shiatsu Center channel on YouTube. So if you want to share it with your friends and family, you can do that, or on the center's website, or send them the link, if they want to join in live, because it's much more powerful when we're doing it all together in our Shiatsu community. Oh, thank you very much, everyone. Have a wonderful day. Go and treat yourselves and be kind to ourselves. I know, easier said than done, right? But yeah, that's where we'll start, and hopefully today will just get easier and better. Thank you very much. Right, I'm going to find the button to end the session. See you all soon. Bye-bye.